Hi everyone, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home, and as you saw in the photos, I'm going to call it a double pop and flip card. I don't know what else to call it really. I did see it on YouTube, and so I converted it to scan and cut so that it's easy to cut out, and I will now show you how to do it. Let me just get all this out of the way. There's quite a few bits, but they're all pretty straightforward, most of them. So let's just put that together. I'm going to group it just so that it's easier to move out the way. So to start with, I'm just going to use a square. I've unticked the maintain aspect ratio. It's easier that way. So you can either use an A5 card, or you want, this isn't exactly A5, but it's as close as you're going to get. That should be 8, and that should be 11. So 8 by 11, and then you're going to score down the middle. You notice I haven't measured where I'm scoring it, and then all I'm going to do is grab both and go through the middle there, and that's in the middle now. And now hold shift and click on the card and change this to a score. So that's the card, like the main card. And then you want just a rectangle. Now for the toppers, you want 7 3/4, because you always go down by a quarter, by 5 1/4. So half of 11 is 5 1/2. And there you go. And you want one for the inside of the card and one for the front of the card. The bottom of the card is going to have all different toppers. We can move on to the mechanism now, and we are going to use a rectangle. Actually, I think that'll do. Let's get them out of the way. So this one needs to be, I'm going to do it long ways first, which means I want it 5.5 by 2. And we're going to do it on the X and Y, because it's going to be a lot simpler to do it that way. Make sure they're on 0, 0. Okay, so we want one score line through the middle, which means it will be, you want the Y on 1, so you know it's exactly through the middle. Let's change that to a score line, and then we need to do an X at the bottom, which, get the path tool, go from this corner down to the 2. There we go. So the width is 2, so we know we've got it spot on. And I'm just going to change that to a score line. And then you want to go the other way from the 2 down to the other corner. Change that to 2. And if you've got it right, it should all cross over neatly there. So I think it might be easier to just use the path tool. So we're just going to get in close, and what we're going to do, we need to cut out these 2 shapes here. So I'm going to go just outside the line of the rectangle. I do need it to go exactly across the score lines, but I need to do the shape just outside like that. We're going to grab the shape and the rectangle, so hold shift and grab the other one and subtract, and now we've got our shape cut out. So the next thing to do is to get all the score lines, and we're just going to bring them up to this point. Sometimes with the score lines, it's easier to just pick them up like that. Go to the layers, because they're hard to catch. And that one, because it's down here on the line. I think it's just easier to do it like that, so you know you've got the right sizes on them too. Okay, display, zoom to max size. All the right score lines are on there, so we are going to group it, Control G, and then we need to duplicate, which is here, and flip vertically. So you can see they're opposites. Now that's the main mechanism. That's what we'll be using to make it all fold the way you saw in the pictures. So the mats for this, I'm going to go back in. We only need to do one and then flip them like we just done. So we need, I think that triangle will do it. We need the triangle, but we will flip it as well. And then what we need to do is just do it so that it fits. There we go. That fits nicely there. And then I want the trapezium for this piece. It needs to be a little bit smaller. We don't need to go all the way down. You could leave it like that and just cut it like that. If you want to, you can just bring this one. I'm using my arrow keys so that I don't move the other line, and I'm just bringing it forward a little bit, because that's all we need. So then you grab them two, duplicate, and flip again, and then they will fit exactly there. So that's all the layers you need for that. These two bits we need to stick, so we don't need any extra layers on that. Display, zoom to max size. Okay, so then we need the arms, and they are just 5.5 by 1. Now I'm just going to get them out of the way. We need it on the X and Y, and we just need 1 inch each side, so you need to score, let's get that away, we need to score 1 inch, make sure on the X it's at 1, and then 4.5. Make sure to pick up the path tool each time you use it. Oh, I'm not far off it. So make sure on the X it's on 4.5. So that's easy enough. I am just going to duplicate that rather than go and get another shape. And I want to change that to 3.5. Actually, what I'm going to do is go 3.4. Because I want it just under the score lines, and it's going to go like that, but you want enough room because the score lines are going to bend up, and it's just a reinforcement so that it's got that extra bit of strength, and you want all that twice. So we're going to duplicate, and we've got 2 of them, and they're part of the mechanism. They're the arm. Now the little cards inside that come up, you want a rectangle. I'm going to move them down, and you want it at 8 by 3 3/4 or 3.75. We're going to put it on the X and Y, make sure it's at 0, 0, and we're scoring at about 4.5. Well, not about, it is 4.5. So there we go. Change to a score line, group that, there we go. So that's that, and then if you duplicate and flip it horizontally So you've got one facing that way and one facing that way. It doesn't really matter. You can do it after you've cut it. I'm just showing you so you know what you're doing. And then to get a mat on each one, this one would be 4 1/4 or 4.25 by 3 1/2. And it fits nicely there. Let's just duplicate to make it easier. And this one, it stays at 3 1/2. But it is 3 1/4. And there we go, there's your mats. So that'll be a nice pattern paper. I think that's everything. Oh, okay, so now we need to work on the mats for the bottom. Okay, I'm going to colour this so it hides everything else behind it. No, that didn't work. Okay, so let's start off with a rectangle, and now I'm going to colour these white so you can see it clearly. So we need one here. It makes more sense when you see it put together. And that one is going to be 5 3/4 by 3 1/2. And that goes there. We duplicate because we want one that's 5 3/4 by 0.75, and that goes down there. No, that one goes up there actually. So let's bring that down a bit. We're going to duplicate that one and make that 7 3/4 because it goes the whole way along the bottom of the card down there. And that is it. That's all the mats, that's all the parts. So if I just get everything over there, group all that, and what I'm going to do is bring this in because it's color coded, and I can show you what parts to color which. So layer, ungroup. So these parts, not this part, they're going to be different. So let's just colour them differently so you can see it. Tell you what, we'll do it a darker purple for now. They're going to be the same colour as your card base. All of them bits. All these bits you want the same colour as your card base. So that inside topper needs to be the same colour as all these. If I duplicate that, the outside topper needs to be the same colour as them. And you need 2 each of them. So that's what let's turn that purple so it makes sense to you. All that is the same colour. All that is the same as the base card. And all that is the same colour. So you need 2 each of these because obviously it's a double panel coming out. Yeah, I think that's everything. So that all one colour, that all one colour, and that all one colour. Same as the base card. I'm going to actually do a men's card. The men's one that is showing. I tried it and done it with the Christmas card and it all worked fine. So I've tweaked it a little bit, but I'm going to do the men's card now. So let's get over there. Okay, so I'm over at the craft table. I've got all my stuff ready and I've cut out lots of bits like a roulette wheel. These are made to surprise. Just a whole set of dies that she does. So I've taken lots of bits of that and let's get started. So this is your card base, and what we need to do first is just put So the front like this, and then on the inside, again this is made to surprise papers. Look at them though, I love them. So this one is going to go on the top of the inside. So you've got one at the front and one on the inside. So next thing we're going to do, we need to get these two and fold them in half and burnish them so that they're very sharp creases. And then, I can't remember which way these go, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to fold them over and burnish them as well. So just make sure your creases are nice and sharp. It's going to work better. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to fold them like this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do so that you can see it a bit better. The triangle toppers, I am just going to put them on quickly. Okay, so they are going to go on. So the point is on the score line. What you're actually doing is gluing this bit. You're gluing this bit here, and you're going to do it up to the score line where it all meets. So it's easier to show you this side. So you see where it all meets, you're going to do the score line there. So just glue that bit, and you do the point to the score line and this to the edge, like that. And then you come here, do this little triangle at the top, fold it over and do that. And repeat. So that you have back. You see? Might help if I got it right. Sorry, I didn't give it a chance to stick. So the mechanism goes like this. I'm just going to hold that so it sticks, so you can see. The next thing we need to do, so this is your long bar and this is the short one, and you're just going to stick it inside just to strengthen it because it's holding the weight of the card. And you do it just before the score line on each, which is why I took it down a notch, so that the pieces can fold quite comfortably. I already glued the other one. So for these, all you're doing is gluing this side so that it's up like that, and we are just going to glue it onto there. And do it the other side. while we're letting them dry, we'll stick our extra little bits on that we have. So now you can see. Okay. We'll stick the other bits in once we've done the cards. So I've already layered the cards up. Make sure you fold and burnish them very well. And we're going to stick them like that so that they stick. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, didn't mean to do that. So the fold end in there, you're going to just stick some glue here. Should all the way down, so the fold is there, and this is where you want to do the glue, and we're going to stick it all the way down like that, and you're just sticking it so it's matching the end. Make sure you go below the fold. And then if you fold this over, and that one, just making sure you can see clearly, and then with that folded over, you fold that back. And do the same the other side. And while we're waiting for that to set, we'll put the layers in. So how this goes, you want a piece at the top. So let's do that one first. Okay. That's come undone. Don't know why. Maybe I didn't use enough glue on that one. So that's the main mechanism done, and now all you want to do is make sure that it closes okay. And then just then it's time to decorate. Now all I've got for the front is just a cheers, and I was just going to put a few dots on. I know it's a chunky card already, but these are only 1mm dots, so they should not make too much of a problem. I don't want too much on the outside. I want most of it to be, obviously the inside is the wow factor. So I just want cheers, and then I've got that says to you. It's just a little one, but then I put gold around it so it kind of matches it. So we've got cheers to you, and then this is a man's hand holding a pint, and I thought that might go well down here. Does that need pads as well? I think it might do. I could have done more than one, to be honest, This is a made to surprise die as well. Men are always tough to do, aren't they? And so I do struggle with it. If you've got a man that's not into sport, it's really hard to find one that will work. Okay, so that is, I think, all I'm going to do to the front. I don't think we need too much. I might colour that a bit more. The colour hasn't really come out very well. And then we open up, and there you go. And you decorate to your heart's content. So I've got, like I said, I've got all these, like I've got the roulette wheel. Maybe the jackpot might go nice with the roulette wheel. Then some chips. I've tried to stick to just limited colours. There's playing cards, and then there's these little ones. They're all from the same set. Some dice. So I just got to play around, and got some sentiments as well that could go on there. Life is a gamble, so roll the dice. And that one says, happy oldest day you've ever been. I've gone all made to surprise here, not deliberately, but I do like her stuff, so I do use it a lot. I've got a lot of it. So I just thought, just them, and then you can do your writing in the middle. If you do, you could do just a little white shape, put it in the middle, and do your sentiment. I just thought Jack, Queen, King, Ace. If I glue them together, they'll make a nice, maybe down there with the chips. So we've got that. We can add the little cards. Oh, actually, look, that says roll the dice. So we can put maybe 2 dice there. And then maybe just, might not need them, but put them there. So you can see there's, yeah, these are great. If anyone's got them, they're really great actually. Okay, let's get this done. I think I'm going to glue all the inside because I don't want to make it too bulky. Okay, so don't let go over this side. It's okay if it goes over the tops, but maybe there isn't enough on the front, but I might add a couple more of these or something. I'm not sure. Maybe another set of cards. I thought that might be enough, but I don't think it is. So that's the finished card. There we go. I love this design actually. You saw the picture of my Christmas one. I haven't finished it. I haven't put anything on the front yet. And there's the inside. And all I've done with this, these are panels left over from a Pinflair project. The papers are, they're made to surprise again. Yep. So I can do my verse in there, and I thought I'd put 2 little sentiments each side there. And that's a Christmas one. So there's so many different ways to use it, but I haven't done a man's one in a while, so I thought I would do that. Yeah, maybe it needs a couple of pints. But there you go, a man's card with a double pop and flip. Yeah, nice style of card. Okay then, I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.